Folks, how are you all doing? It's 2 days in a row, Fergal.
It is indeed, yeah.
I'm making a habit of this.
Across the country.
So Darragh O'Brien has gone and done it again. When we read through the small print of Housing for All, we discovered another, what's essentially sweetheart deal for landowners. As people know, many of us have been calling for an increase in the Part 5 allocation, whereby 10% of all new private developments are allocated for social housing. It used to be 20% for social affordable. Alan Kelly and Fine Gael cut it down to 10%, and we've long argued, in fact, had a bill passed in the last Dáil to return it to its higher level. Darragh O'Brien in the affordable housing bill at the last stage brought forward amendments to increase it to 20%, and particularly to increase the delivery of affordable housing. Yet when we read the small print of the plan over the weekend, we actually realised that the extra 10% affordable housing won't actually start to come on stream until 2026. There is a carve-out clause for anybody who's bought land between 2015 and 2021 but has yet to get planning permission. They can still apply for planning permission between now and 2025 and only have to provide 10% social housing, not 10% social and 10% affordable. Killian Woods rightly commented in the Sunday Business Post yesterday, this could result in the loss of as many as 10,000 affordable homes over the next 5 years. And I have to say, I cannot understand how the Minister can justify this. Reading his comments yesterday, he seemed to suggest there were some legal issues. Part 5 of the Planning and Development Act has already been tested by the Supreme Court. It was referred by the Fianna Fáil government of the day to the Supreme Court for decision. A decision was made stating it was clearly constitutional, and therefore restoring it to its 20%, I don't believe for a second would even be challengeable in the courts, let alone win a challenge. So what are we doing today? We're publishing a piece of legislation. We've sent it to the Bills office today. We're seeking to introduce it at second stage next week and to bring it forward in private members' time as a matter of urgency to remove that carve-out for landowners that Darragh O'Brien snuck in at the final stages of the affordable housing bill, to ensure that from now all new planning applications that are submitted will have to include 20% social and affordable housing. Anything less than that is unacceptable. And this is really like the last minute sneaky dealings between Darragh O'Brien and Pascal Donoghue, giving a carve out for institutional investors buying houses and duplexes and leasing them back to the state, and therefore not having to pay the higher stamp duty. It's another example of a government saying they're for affordable housing, but doing everything they can to facilitate institutional investors, developers and large landholders. And this kind of thing has to stop, and we're going to make sure there's a vote on the floor of the Dáil, which we were denied by Darragh O'Brien by the use of the guillotine early in July. A vote on the floor of the Dáil so every TD can make it clear, do they support this carve-out for big landowners, or are they on the side of the delivery of more affordable homes now?
There's legislation also that you propose there. Does it provide for an easy way for the Minister to just cut out this provision?
What it does is it deletes the provision for the Act. This amendment was introduced very late in the day at committee and report stage of the Affordable Housing Bill. As you know, because you were there, those final days of the Dáil, the government were ramming so many different pieces of legislation on almost everything. They used the guillotine. These amendments we never got to discuss or debate because of the use of the guillotine. And during the passage of the earlier amendments to the bill on that day, I expressed extreme concern that this was a bad way of doing business, that I had problems with the number of technical aspects of the bill this included, and they wanted both a written briefing and an oral briefing from departmental officials, none of which has been provided. So we would remove this provision. That's what this bill does, and therefore the only developments that would be exempt from the 20% are those that already have planning permission, and that would have always been the case anyway. Any planning application on any land that has been submitted from now should have to provide 20%, particularly given the fact that Darragh O'Brien has actually made provision for so few affordable homes in his plan. We need every single affordable home we can get and the Minister shouldn't be denying would-be home buyers the chance to get an affordable roof over their heads.
Would you expect some support from opposition parties and maybe from members of government parties in the Housing Committee who have been critical of past legislation from Mr. Ryan?
Absolutely, and what I would say to anyone out there is, how could you support such a provision? Why would you deny the state 5, 10, 15, 20,000 affordable homes that would otherwise be provided? It simply makes no sense. And I suspect, because of the way in which this legislation was snuck in and rushed through, I'd suspect most members of the Housing Committee or the Dáil didn't really realise the full import, either A, until they read the detail of the government's Housing for All plan, or they read the Sunday Business Post at the weekend. Either way, people need to make a decision. Are you for affordable housing for working families, or are you for sweetheart deals for big landowners, for them to continue to make profit on land, even though what they're going to produce on that land is unaffordable open market price homes? We good?